There, I got 142 Albion. Cute little street with a bike lane on it. Lots of century homes on this street. There's like a Polish community center not far down there. And noteworthy, there is a church next door, but I'm sure that's probably as quiet a neighbor as you could ever want, given the limited services that you can see there. Kind of a cute building. Who knows how long these little churches will stay around. A lot of them sold up in Prince Edward County in the last couple of years, but not a bad neighbor. Fun features on the side of the brick structure here. Could be a candidate for being painted. Chimney there, I think might have been related to an old furnace or something. I didn't see any. There's definitely no fireplace or something like that in there. I didn't know when we were at the front, but it looks like a newer roof, probably within the last like 3 to 5 years, which is good because it looks like there may have been some signs of water leak at some point. That's usually what happens. Someone holds off so long that the roof starts leaking, and then they fix it. The problem's solved, but there's still the signs of the leak inside. We'll examine that later, though. I believe it was an elderly person here, so last. So I think the gardens are a little maybe needing some love, but otherwise it's pretty decent back here. There was a broken window over there. It seems to be covered on the inside, but that was fine. There's like a bit of a porch enclosure off the back there, off the back of the kitchen, and a little deck. You can definitely have a little barbecue or something. You can get a view of those newer shingles there. There are gutters all around, a little banged up, but I don't think anything anyone's going to give you a hard time over. There's that big old stack there that's going up through the bathroom. We'll see that when we go inside. Probably something from yesteryear that could be improved if you didn't love that pipe being there. You saw that in the listing, I'm sure, though. Just the other side of your house there. Again, with that little brick flourish coming off the side there. Fun little feature. It's all sitting on a nice concrete slab, that enclosure, so it's not going anywhere. We do have a little tin shed off the back here. The floor is in pretty bad disrepair, so that would probably have to come out. Maybe just go with a dirt base, or if you wanted to get a pad board in there, if you actually needed this structure, that would be a thing. It looks like the shingles might be a little old on it. I don't know what the plans were for this fun brick. It's a garden edging they were doing with it. Inside here, kind of dingy. There's like old knob and tube and stuff, but that's all been cut. I saw another sign of it in the basement, but again cut. So I think there was definitely an upgrade where that was dealt with. We do have a fuse box here though, so we might want to do a panel upgrade. Not super expensive, a couple grand. Nothing too crazy noteworthy, but if you had like a lawnmower or something you wanted to stash there, or if these are included, totally fine spot to do that. Right, fence is a little disrepair-y, but nothing too bad. Probably almost even just like pull the boards on your side. It looks like the church's side is doing a lot better. That wouldn't be too big a deal. Some cute neighbors, like century home type things. There look lots of signs of people buying and improving homes in the area, so town is regenerating. I'll try and give you a call because I do like this house, and I was actually with some people last night discussing the area, and it seemed like all positive notes, so that was good. Given that I'm not super familiar with the area, so I was happy to hear. Into the home through that little front enclosure there. It was nice and dry and well constructed. Didn't seem like it was falling apart or anything. Nice big room off the front here. I do believe that the walls are lath and plaster, just judging from some like little cracks in the wall. Not a big deal, something you usually see after they've been up for decades upon decades. That's why drywall is the preferred material now. If I was seeing a lot more like slopes and sags in the floor, I'd be more worried about it, but I think it's just an old home. In general, lots of like dingy signs. Like I think a can of paint could really go a long way in here. Maybe a silly, well, I'm sure you're gonna want to get rid of this carpet, but it's a small price to pay for a good amount of hardwood. Like all your bedroom and living room and everything are all hardwood. Looks like there's a chance the carpet's going over hardwood over there, which could be good, but I did explore under here, and this was more like a vinyl floor situation from the 70s. Fun light fixtures and stuff. One of the note with the lath and plaster as well. Like there's no overhead lighting in here, so you're pretty much stuck with that sconce and lamps and stuff, which is totally cool. But if you were to like want to get overhead lighting, it would be a bit of a process getting up in that lath and plaster. Just gotta be super careful with it. I haven't spoken about the rads yet. I do love radiant heat. It's one of my favorite kinds. It doesn't make you feel like you're all dried out. Winter can be a little harsh for me. We've got nice high ceilings here. I don't know if it's easy to tell in the video, but we're definitely 7 or 8 feet there. I have to pull a measure, but it's, I think, in the realm of what I would consider a high ceiling, for sure. Decent amount of light, given that we're pretty close to our neighbors. Another huge room here. The rads sometimes can restrict where you put things, but I think they're all well appointed for this home. Another little crack there. Got a little one there, but I think again it's just this lath and plaster. If you really wanted to get like crazy and pull all that out and put drywall in, like I don't think that would be happening ever again. You could also just plaster it over and paint over all that. And we have like this third bedroom here. I think it's an okay size. You wouldn't be able to get like all bed shapes in here. Probably twin max. But this is a cute little sewing room. Love that sewing machine. The whole table and everything. No closet, obviously, with this wardrobe situation going on here. Where are these? Oh yeah, this one had some cracks again. I think this was the one that made me think maybe the roof was leaking at some point, obviously before that it was repaired. But it's not a true sign of water damage, it's just kind of a bit of a mystery. Into the kitchen. It's a large kitchen. There's just not a lot going on in here. I'm not entirely sure the fridge or the stove work. I don't believe they're plugged in, so that's something we can check out in the inspection. Possibly something you might want to replace anyways. I don't think these are super awesome. I mostly just don't know what these are. Strange little things. Maybe it's fine. Fridge is pretty gross. There's mouse poop in there. So I don't know if you want to revive it if it does work. It probably does. But you want to really get in there and deep clean that. Some paper towel in here. I've been told not to worry so much about them. People seem to freak out a lot about them with like asbestos and stuff, but home inspector will give you a good idea if they're a concern or not. We have a pretty decent sized bathroom here. Tile wall, like a wainscoting type situation. A bit of cracking again up around that pipe. I believe that's probably the attic access there. Again, paint could go a really long way. It's just, like, even cleaning, it's just, I don't know. We'll get a good deep clean done in here. It should be pretty cost effective to go a long way just to even off that factor. Because it is a cute house. We have a bit of a laundry room set up here. I wasn't able to determine, like, the full extent of this room as to whether it maybe had a washer and dryer at some point. Don't see the additional plugs, but maybe when you do your panel upgrade, just have them throw in the laundry receptacle. We'll double check downstairs if there wasn't one there, because there is a decent basement down there for size that they may have had one down there. Back into our yard. Actually a much bigger yard than I expected. I don't think you were looking for a huge yard, so the best of both worlds scenario there. We do have a broken stair at the bottom of this. A new tread, it won't be super expensive at all, but just a heads up, this isn't a super safe entry. Just this last step here. We have a little bit of stuff chipping off the wall there. I'm not super worried about it. I think it was just some kind of weird wooden insert for those shelves that just wasn't appropriate to have right up against the concrete. Usually you have some sort of vapor barrier or something there. A bit of signs of old galvanized pipe here that will come up in an inspection. Not a huge deal. It can just be cut away and removed. New plastic piping go in. There is our boiler there. It'd be good to have a professional opinion on how long that's expected to live and cost of replacement, stuff like that. But otherwise, I'm happy with boiler situation. Got our hot water tank there. The Reliance, I double want to check that's not rented. Otherwise, it'd be monthly bills for that. There's where the broken window was. With our joists, everything seems to be totally fine for the age of the home. The span is actually pretty impressive. Like the floors were all really straight. Probably just a touch more than a foot between those, which is a little, I think it's technically overspanned. Anyways, I'm not super worried about it. There was a little bit of like water going on here, but I think we're over a bathroom right now. So I think someone maybe like overflowed the tub. I didn't really see signs of it anywhere else. Nothing that's causing any structural damage. I shoved a key in there earlier and I couldn't get into the wood, so it's all still nice and great. The only real thing I noticed down here was that for some reason there's this beam coming across. I believe everything is kind of sistered together properly on that to make sure everything's still structurally great, but we'll get that confirmed. Otherwise, we have like a nice brick wall finish down here. Maybe that could be cleaned up a little bit better. Other than this piping going around, it's a bit of a duct there. You actually have the ability to have like a functional area down here. I think judging from the stuff on the wall that someone did have things down here at one point. It's a bit of a crawl space scenario there. It's hard for me to get my flash going while I'm on video, but there wasn't really anything noteworthy in there other than some bricks that were holding up this rad piping. Someone might have an opinion on whether that was an appropriate way to deal with it, but this home's been here for decades. No problems. I also want to have this checked out a little bit too. I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's just where the concrete pour is. There's not 100% water at all times of year protection there. I don't think there's like huge leaks or anything. Didn't pull that back before, but I think there might have been an old furnace here. You notice the chimney outside. Yeah, there's an old, that circle on the wall, I'm going to guess is where an oil tank would have been for an old oil furnace or something, potentially. Oil rad heater. So this could be newer than we think. Interesting things to figure out. Anyways, we are getting close to the end of our tour here. I was looking at the date. Boiler inspection was good until 2023. So we should be able to get good info on that. I like the house. Here's a fuse box here. It doesn't have to be a problem. There was a time when lenders didn't love them, but I think they have since decided that they're actually more safe than modern panels, because at least the fuse box, when the fuse blows, it's just gone, the circuit's broken. I didn't realize this before either. You'd want to get that checked out. I thought it was just like this paper wrap, but now that we've seen a little closer, there is the it's like a material, like almost like a cast, and that cloth wrap sometimes can contain asbestos. Now, given the area of the home, you can really have this shut off from the rest of the house and have that remediated with a good deal in the home. It is totally worth it to get that done. It could be something that can be handled through the funds of the sale, so it doesn't have to be out of pocket. Something we might want to talk to Mr. Gavel about, because you can get a home blacklisted with that kind of information, so might want to be stealthy. Anyways, we'll discuss all that later. I do like our Albion. We'll be in touch soon. Bye.